speaks before I do, a silver little morning sound. And on the table by the fruit, the first thin sunlight settles down. I haven't opened up the day enough to call it fully mine. I'm still somewhere between the sheets and standing in this stripe of light. The mug is warm in both my hands. The room is warming in the same way. Like nothing here is asking me to be more than I am today. And for a little while, that feels like more than enough. To hear the house grow bright, to feel the morning turn soft. Sun across the table, moving slow enough to stay. Like the day has chosen kindness before it asked for anything from me today. Sun across the table, on the wood and on the cup, makes the whole small kitchen feel like a place where I can start again. Enough. The curtains breathe a little wind. The chair beside me stays untouched. There's no one here to interrupt. The kind of peace that doesn't rush. A book lies open, face down, still a page I didn't finish last night. And now it looks less like escape and more like something living right. The sink is full of ordinary things, a spoon, a bowl, a glass, a plate. Yet even they look softened now by this unhurried kind of daybreak. I think that maybe grace looks smaller than we think. A table in the light, a minute just to drink. Sun across the table, moving slow enough to stay. Like the day has chosen kindness before it asked for anything from me today. Sun across the table, on the wood and on the cup, makes the whole small kitchen feel like a place where I can start again. Enough. Maybe I don't need a miracle, maybe I just need this room. The sound of water cooling down, the yellow widening at the noon. Maybe healing never enters as a bright and sudden sign. Maybe it arrives in little gold across a quiet morning line. Sun across the table, now the whole room seems to glow. And I can feel the week behind me loosening more than I can show. Sun across the table, on the mug and on my hands. And for a little while I belong to nothing but this light that gently lands. The room is still half made of sleep. The mirror hasn't found my face. The coffee rises in the cup like something gentle taking place. A little steam before the noon, a little breath before the day, a little pause the world forgot to hurry up and take away. I lean against the counter edge and listen to the quiet hum of appliances and passing cars and all the places I don't have to run. There are mornings that arrive like a hand against the glass, and there are mornings made of vapor that ask only that they last. Steam before noon, lifting slowly through the light, like the heart can stay unfinished for a little longer and still be right. Steam before noon, soft enough to hide inside, till the day grows all around it and I learn not to divide. The kitchen window holds the street in pale and half-forgiven blue. A delivery bike, a moving tree, a neighbor tying up one shoe. Nothing here is trying hard, nothing here is trying to impress, and maybe that is why this hour feels kinder than the rest. I think about the week behind me, the voice I wore, the rooms I crossed, and how the body keeps a ledger of the little ways it gets lost. But this warm and rising air makes the edges less severe, like even what I couldn't carry well can thin a little here. Steam before noon, lifting slowly through the light, like the heart can stay unfinished for a little longer and still be right. Steam before noon, soft enough to hide inside, till the day grows all around it and I learn not to divide. Maybe all the best beginnings do not sound like open doors. Maybe they sound like water settling in a quiet kitchen floor. Maybe I am not behind, maybe I am only slow, in the way a good warm morning teaches tired people how to glow. Steam before noon, now the room is opening wide, and I can feel the day becoming something I don't have to fight. Steam before noon, rising clear and fading thin, like a small and honest mercy that lets the whole morning end. The first place light arrives is never where I expect. Not always on the curtains, not always where the window lets. Today it found the cutting board, the handle of a silver knife, a glass ring left beside the sink, the smallest evidence of life. And in that little patch of gold, the whole room changed its tone, as if the day was a lesser road and more a place to be alone. Not lonely, not removed, just softly at the start, like morning touched the kitchen first before it reached my heart. Where the light first lands, there's a gentleness I trust, on the grain of wood, the lip of cups, on the ordinary and the dust. Where the light first lands, the whole house seems to know how to hold a slow beginning without asking it to grow too fast or show. I watch it climb the chair backs, the books, the folded dish towel there, the silent bowl of oranges, the shirt I left upon the chair. And something in me follows it, from object into breath, like I can come back to myself by way of all these little things it blesses. There is no grand awakening, no cinematic kind of peace, just warm light moving table to wall, and all the inside noise is easing piece by piece. Maybe that is why I stay still longer than I planned, because the room becomes more human where the light first lands. Where the light first lands, there's a gentleness I trust, on the grain of wood, the lip of cups, on the ordinary and the dust. Where the light first lands, the whole house seems to know how to hold a slow beginning without asking it to grow too fast or show. Maybe every tired week needs one unguarded room, one morning with no hard edges, no urgent shape, no noon, only light discovering the places I forgot, teaching me that tenderness can start where nothing dramatic starts. Where the light first lands, even my breathing changes there. The whole small home turns into something open, bright and almost prayer. Where the light first lands, I feel the day turn mild, and all the parts of me that hurried sit back down and reconcile. Morning settles on the shelf where the cups are turned upside down. A little gold along the rim, a little light without a sound. The room is still not fully day, the chair is still half night, and everything I didn't finish looks softer in this kind of light. There's a towel by the sink, a book left open near the stove, a shirt I folded badly once, and somehow all of it feels close. Not close like pressure, not close like noise, only close the way a quiet house makes room for smaller joys. Morning on the shelf, on the cups and on the plates, makes the whole room feel forgiving in the way it gently waits. Morning on the shelf, on the glass and on the spoon, like the day is not a deadline, only something still in bloom. The kettle's finished singing now, the steam has thinned into the air. I stand a little longer still, as if the warmth were keeping me there. There are mornings made for rushing, and mornings made for being slow, for learning how the light can touch the things you didn't know you know. Like how a room can hold your shape even when your thoughts still roam. Like how a little patch of sunlight can make the smallest kitchen home. Maybe peace is not a feeling, maybe peace is how things stay. A shelf, a cup, a little sunlight at the edge of the day. Morning on the shelf, on the cups and on the plates, makes the whole room feel forgiving in the way it gently waits. Morning on the shelf, on the glass and on the spoon, like the day is not a deadline, only something still in bloom. Maybe I don't need a bigger life, maybe I just need this view. The yellow on a row of ceramics, and enough time to come through. Not transformed, not remade, only softer where I've been. Like the house already knew how to let the morning in. Morning on the shelf, now the whole room feels awake, and every small and ordinary thing feels easier to take. Morning on the shelf, with the day still warm and thin, and I can feel a little kindness in the way the light comes in. Before the coffee cools, the room is still deciding how bright it wants to be today, how open, how inviting. The mug is warm against my hand, the table holds a ring of brown, and the first light on the window frame is only just now settling down. There is no need to fill the silence, no need to call this anything. It's only one slow weekend morning, and the softness that it brings. Some hours do not ask to be impressive or complete, only to be lived inside with both hands around their heat. Before the coffee cools, let me stay a little here, where the light is still becoming and the whole room still feels clear. Before the coffee cools, let the morning move this way, slow enough to leave its warmth on everything it touches in the day. A bus goes by beneath a window, someone laughs out on the street. The plant beside the curtain leans into a patch of quiet heat. I think about the days that ask for too much language from the chest, and how this cup beside my hand feels gentler than the rest. And not because it solves a thing, not because it changes me, only because this little warmth makes the whole room easier to breathe. Maybe that is all I need at the start of one good day. A mug, a chair, a little sun, and enough time not to pull away. Before the coffee cools, let me stay a little here, where the light is still becoming and the whole room still feels clear. Before the coffee cools, let the morning move this way, slow enough to leave its warmth Every softer life begins like this in hidden ways, not with a vow or thunder, but with a table in the haze, with the sound of someone living far below and out of sight, and the courage just to sit here till the morning settles right. Before the coffee cools, I can feel the room grow wide, and all the things I brought from yesterday settle gently to the side. Before the coffee cools, the day no longer feels so far, only warm around the edges, like light arriving where you Curtains full of morning, breathing with the smallest wind. The sunlight hasn't reached the floor, but I can feel it settling in. The table still remembers last night, a book turned down, a glass, a pen, and all the little unfinished things look kinder in the morning again. I pour the coffee slowly, like I'm learning something new, about how quiet can be warm enough to let a tired heart come through. No one's waiting on my answer, no one's counting what I do. There is only light behind the curtain and the pale beginning breaking through. Curtains full of morning, hold the gold a little longer there. Let it stay inside the fabric till it softens all the air. Curtains full of morning move like someone saying stay, as if the house has one more hour before it has to turn into a day. The chair beside the window leans into a stripe of sun. The kettle cools in silver, the hardest week is finally done. Outside a bicycle goes by, a dog pulls lightly at a lead. The world is waking at its own pace, and for once I do not need to lead. I stand with both hands on the counter and let the room arrive in me. Not all at once, not like a blessing, more like something set me free. Maybe peace is not dramatic, maybe peace is very small. A curtain taking in the weather and the light along the wall. Curtains full of morning, hold the gold a little longer there. Let it stay inside the fabric till it softens all the air. Curtains full of morning move like someone saying stay, as if the house has one more hour before it has to turn into a day. Maybe what I call beginning isn't something I must chase. Maybe it is this exact stillness and the kindness in this place. Maybe all the best recoveries start with nothing grand or new, just a room that lets the morning take its time in reaching you. Curtains full of morning, now the whole room bends to light. And everything I could not settle looks gentler in my sight. Curtains full of morning, and and I'm gentler with me too. Like the day can still be beautiful without demanding what I prove. My toast is going cold beside me, and I still haven't touched the jam. The coffee's warmer than my thinking, the room is warmer than I am. There's sunlight on the cutting board, a knife laid softly on a plate. And in this slow and harmless mess, nothing in me feels too late. I used to think mornings asked for momentum, for a plan, but this one feels more like a hand against the back of who I am. Not pushing, not insisting, only asking me to stay long enough to hear the kitchen turn the silence into day. Toast going cold beside the cup, and still I let it be, because the morning tastes better when it doesn't rush me. Toast going cold beside the cup, and sunlight on the bread makes the smallest kind of comfort feel enough to lift my head. The jam jar catches ruby light, the butter waits in paper gold. I smile at how the simplest things can keep a room from feeling cold. The bus goes by beyond the pain, someone laughs out on the street, and all the life feels close enough without demanding I compete. The table holds my elbows like it knows I've come here tired, and even this unfinished breakfast looks like something kind, not wired. Maybe slowness is a flavor, maybe peace can still be spread across an ordinary morning, like butter on neglected bread. Toast going cold beside the cup, and still I let it be, because the morning tastes better when it doesn't rush me. Toast going cold beside the cup, and sunlight on the bread makes the smallest kind of comfort feel enough to lift my head. Maybe all the things I missed this week do not belong in this room. Maybe this table was made exactly for half-warm light and late-bloomed noon. Maybe what I need is not a reason sharper than the day, only one soft breakfast hour that doesn't ask me to explain. Toast going cold beside the cup, and now the room feels wide, like all the noise I brought in here has thinned and stepped aside. Toast going cold beside the cup, and somehow that feels right, because the best kind of morning doesn't always need to hurry into light. Sunday stays in the room long after the kettle has sung, long after the blinds have opened, long after the morning begun. It lingers in the folded blanket, in the chair left slightly turned, in the way the sunlight touches all the corners I once burned. There is no need to leave this hour, no need to sharpen into plans. Only coffee, wood and quiet, and my own unguarded hands. I can hear the street below me, but it feels so far away, like the world agreed this morning not to pull too hard at day. Sunday stays in the room, in the steam and in the floor, in the half-read page beside me, and the unlocked kitchen door. Sunday stays in the room like a song that doesn't end, only turns a little warmer every time the light comes in. The oranges in the bowl shine softly, a small cathedral made of skin. A radio from somewhere distant lets another life drift in. I walk barefoot to the window, then back again without a need for anything more urgent than to move at morning speed. There are hours that ask for language, there are days that wanna face, but this one only wants a body willing to stay in place. Maybe that is why I love it, why this light feels almost true, because nothing here is asking to become more than what it grew into. Sunday stays in the room, in the steam and in the floor, in the half-read page beside me, and the unlocked kitchen door. Sunday stays in the room like a song that doesn't end, only turns a little warmer every time the light comes in. Maybe peace is not a destination, maybe peace is just delay. A little longer with the curtains before the afternoon takes shape away. Maybe I could build a life with more mornings made like this, where the quiet doesn't feel empty, only full of things I'd miss. Sunday stays in the room, now the whole place seems to glow, and even all the little silences feel like something I can know. Sunday stays in the room till the clock forgets to lead, and I remember what it feels like to want nothing more than what I need. There's a half-washed mug by the sink with a little brown ring still left, like the morning hasn't finished what the night before had kept. The water dried in silver lines, the handle catching light, and something in the unfinishedness makes the room feel lived in right. Not polished, not curated, not beautiful in any rehearsed way, only honest in the language of a house beginning day. I stand and look at little things longer than I used to do. The drying spoon, the folded towel, the place where morning gathers blue. Because some weeks leave me distant from the rooms I'm standing in, and it takes a slower weekend to let the self come back again. Maybe healing is domestic, maybe comfort leaves a trace in a cup not fully rinsed, in sunlight finding its place. Half-washed mug by the sink, still holding what it held before, like the heart can keep a little warmth even after being worn. Half-washed mug by the sink, and the whole room breathing mild makes the unfinished parts of me feel gentler than they did last night. There are songs the cafe plays at 10 when no one fills the chairs, the kind that let the silence stay and only warm the air. This room feels like that kind of music, not trying too hard to shine, just letting every ordinary object turn a little more divine. The dish soap bottle, window latch, the quiet clock above the shelf, all of it keeps telling me there is no rush to become myself. Only time and warm water, only light along the wall, only one unfinished morning that somehow seems to hold it all. Half-washed mug by the sink, still holding what it held before, like the heart can keep a little warmth even after being worn. Half-washed mug by the sink, and the whole room breathing mild makes the unfinished parts of me feel gentler than they did last night. Maybe nothing has to resolve, maybe not today. Maybe one true thing can simply be a cup not rinsed away. A little evidence of living, a little mark of staying near, a little proof that quiet mornings can make the inside world more clear. Half-washed mug by the sink, now the sun is climbing through, and every small imperfect thing feels easier to love, including you. Half-washed mug by the sink, with the whole day still undone, and somehow that unfinished beauty feels warmer than the sun. windows open slowly here, like the house is thinking first, like the morning isn't something that should ever arrive in a burst. The latch gives way, the curtain moves, a little breeze crosses the floor, and suddenly the whole small room feels wider than it did before. The street comes in softened pieces, a scooter far away, a bell, the sound of someone stacking chairs, the city waking up in gentle spell. I didn't know how much I needed air that hadn't touched the wheat, light that didn't ask for labor, a day that didn't have to speak. Windows open slowly, and so do I with them, like the morning knows the body needs time to let the daylight in. Windows open slowly, and the whole room starts to change. What was heavy in the shadows feels lighter in the moving air. Coffee cools a little faster, the pages lift inside the book, the plant beside the sill seems greener than yesterday's exhausted look. I think about the life I want, not larger, louder, faster, new, just one with mornings built like this, where I can hear myself come through, where nothing in me needs to hurry to become impressive or complete, only present in a chair by light, with bare feet on the kitchen heat. Maybe all the best beginnings ask for hinges, not alarms, a little opening toward the weather, a little sun upon the arms. Windows open slowly, and so do I with them, like the morning knows the body needs time to let the daylight in. Windows open slowly, and the whole room starts to change. What was heavy in the shadows feels lighter in the moving air. Maybe I've called it weakness, this need to start the day with grace, but now it feels more like survival, learning slowness has a place. Maybe all the truest strength is quieter than I had known, like opening a window gently and finally sounding like your own. Windows open slowly, and so do I with them, till the whole bright day before me feels like something I can let begin. Windows open slowly, and the light moves through the frame, and in that widening morning air, I don't feel quite the same.